Everybody, welcome to Daily Distinction. I was just signing on here and I realized I made a mistake. I'm so used to putting in the time at 3 o'clock Eastern. I did that automatically. I said 1 hour early today, and then I turned around and scheduled it for the same time as always. So if you get an alert that goes off in an hour, I apologize. I have a commitment today at noon this time here in Las Vegas that I've got to keep. And so I appreciate you understanding. There'll be times I'm sure I've got to vary the time, but it's really great to be with you. And as you know, on the weekends, we typically do an abbreviated version of Daily Distinction. And today it's just wishing everybody a happy Father's Day. It's obviously an important day for dads everywhere. So for those of you who are fortunate enough to still have your dad alive and in your life, it's a great day to express your appreciation. And for those of us that over the years have lost our father, it's also a day to look back and to remember and to think and to appreciate, what our dads have meant in our life. I was trying to think about what some of the differences are between how moms and how dads communicate. And I don't want to get too much into stereotypes. That's kind of old school thinking, but I do reflect on my own situation with my mom and dad in Crothersville, Indiana, and running a grocery store and growing up in that. When I was, the first memories I have is of dad being a factory worker, and I remember as a kid he would come home from work from Cummins Engine, and he had on steel-toed shoes and boots, right, because of safety equipment in the factory. And that's an early memory of mine, is standing on dad's steel-toed boots as he would walk through our little house. It's when I was born, my dad was a truck driver, and there was a company in Medora, Indiana, in the same county as where I'm from, that made manufactured brick. And so dad would drive the brick from Medora, Indiana, to Lawrenceburg, Indiana. That was the building of what is the world's largest producer of bourbon. Yeah, bigger than anything in it produces more. I've read that it produces more gallons of bourbon than any place. In fact, some of the Kentucky bourbon is made in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and it's right on the river, on the Ohio River. It's trucked across the river so they can bottle it in Kentucky. Eagles Rare is there. There's some other really great ones out of the Lawrenceburg distillery, but I don't know if that's where my love of bourbon, it's in my DNA, because that's what my dad was doing when I was born. But, the dad went to work in a factory, and he really didn't like that work. So he went to school to be a meat cutter and got a job at a grocery store in Crothersville. And then got a better job at a grocery store in Austin, which is 4 miles south, and then came back and bought the store that he had worked in originally. The owner of that store wanted to sell it to my dad when he retired, and so that was the store that we bought. And so that's the early memories I have of my dad. Hey, Dwayne, I mentioned yesterday I had to do it today an hour early. It's kind of a brief abbreviated weekend edition, and then I turned right around and made the stupid mistake of scheduling it for the same time as always on the little schedule tool. So I apologize for that. So your clock is not off. Your communicator is, right? So there you go. And a happy Sunday to you too, Pam. I'm really glad that you're here. Yeah, exactly. Dad equals DNA. So I guess the bourbon love is baked in, so to speak. As we talk about the difference too between moms and dads, one other thing that occurs to me is that many times, mom is the one who says those things like, "Don't run through the house with scissors in your hand," and "Don't cross the street without looking both ways." And mom gives you, these basic tools. At least it was in my family. Mom was the one that gave me those basic tools. But boy, when dad spoke, it was the law. It was he didn't teach you these process things. It was like, the biggies. And I think that's where I was so fortunate in that my dad, it was really had his head screwed on straight, and it really was he was a nice person. He was a good person. And when I have friends who's had different experiences with their families, with their parents, my heart hurts for them because Yeah, it's such an important part of my life, and I also think about all the families that we hear that are single moms, and that we're and I understand how that happens, but the single mom situation where the dad doesn't want to be involved, and I just count my blessings every day, even at my age, that I grew up in a family where parents were involved, regardless of whether married or divorced. I know a lot of great friends whose parents were divorced, but they were both absolutely committed to the kids. And what an important aspect that is. And look, if the luck of the draw or fate or the universe, whatever, did not put you in that situation, one of the things that I know is it's possible to change the situation. I have a friend that was subjected to significant abuse as a young man, as a boy, and but from his father. Father was just drunk and mean, and this guy's one of the best dads I know, because he decided that the cycle would stop here. So if you've been in that challenging situation yourself, it's good to know that you do have the strength and the ability to make it different for your kids than what it was for you. And that makes you a heck of a father on a Father's Day like this. Oh, I appreciate that, son. Yes, you got a great dad, and I was fortunate to have a great dad too. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, let's get something done, Dwayne. I am slammed this coming week, but I'm sure we can find a time to connect. So I'll get you the link after I get back. And by the way, I want to remind everybody before I forget about it, because I'm going to run here shortly. But tonight, it's the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. I was on a FaceTime call last night with Ken and Glenn, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, but there's a really, really cool story that we're going to start off with tonight that I know that you're really going to enjoy. So that'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. It's the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott, and you're going to understand a little more about why I think the world of both of these guys. And if actions speak louder than words, and I think they do. There's this great story that is about Glenn that's going to be told tonight. So I'll keep you in suspense. In broadcasting, we used to call that a tease. That's a teaser. That's a tease. Trying to get you to watch. So don't forget as well. Distinction Nation is where you can sign up for free. You can download an audio program on how to create personal distinction. There's other free resources, and we're going to do some more things in the future that'll help you stay in touch and also to grow. And by the way, if you haven't signed up yet, our Facebook page, just search for Daily Distinction. You can sign up and watch this on the Facebook page and other things as well. So it's just a day to salute Dad, just a day to salute Dad. And whether your father is alive or not, it's a great day to think and to reflect. Yeah, did you see that? That was pretty cool, wasn't it, right? Yeah, well, I'll tell more later tonight. One of the things I think is important is, while we cannot live life looking in the rearview mirror, we also don't drive very well unless we occasionally focus our attention there. I hear people talking all the time about, and I've said it too, you've heard me say it, that you can't live life in the rearview mirror. There's a reason the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, and that is absolutely true. However, it's also important to note that the rearview mirror is there. No one is saying, get rid of the rearview mirror and only look through the windshield. There's a reason that rearview mirror is there, and that's to help us navigate more safely, to drive more effectively. So don't ignore the rearview mirror, even as you focus most of your attention on the windshield. And sometimes on a day like today, or on Mother's Day, even days like Juneteenth that we've been talking about, there's a reason that we have these days, these demarcation of these specific days. And the reason is so that we'll spend a little bit of time in the rearview mirror, that we'll spend a little bit of time reflecting and thinking and honoring our past. Whether, I said a while back that there's two kinds of stories. Jim Rohn used to talk about, there's two kind of stories. There's examples and there's warnings. And the example is, do this, be like this. And the warning is, don't do this. Don't be like these folks. So maybe as you're looking in the rearview mirror, your past and the people in your past, fathers that we're talking about today, are great examples. For some of us, it's a warning. But the important thing is that we take a minute to look at it and that we examine it. You know, one of the things I've learned from people I've had conflict with over my time is that one of the hardest things to admit is that if I would have experienced exactly what they experienced, I don't know that I'd be much different than they are. We are a sum of our experiences. And so viewing those experiences and thinking about those experiences and understanding those experiences, at least trying to make some sense of them, is a really, really important part of what we do. So on this Father's Day, hey, Jeff, yes, absolutely. Happy Father's Day to every father out there. So on this day, you know what, I think sometimes, and looking back, I was too young to realize it, I guess, back then, but I think sometimes, I didn't, our family wasn't good at making sure that dad knew how much he was appreciated. It's one of those things you think your family or your friends get by osmosis. You know what I mean? Of course they know I care. Are you kidding me? I used to use the joke about, the wife that files her divorce and the husband says, I said I do when we got married. I figured she'd know. I'd let her know something changed. What a romantic devil, right? We oftentimes just assume. We assume that people, of course, they understand how much we care. Of course they do. And we don't tell them. One of the things I've realized is the only appreciation that accounts is the appreciation that is expressed. The appreciation that you keep to yourself for another doesn't help anybody, doesn't matter anything to anybody. So appreciation counts when it's expressed. And that's why days like Father's Day are special incentives for us to express the appreciation that we have. And as Jeff says, happy Father's Day. So let's salute dads. And Charles, better late than never. Well, I'm early today, Charles. So I'm glad you're here. Anytime you are here, my friend, I truly appreciate it. From San Jose today. Oh, I got that rhymes. So today's the day to express appreciation. And by the way, don't just keep it to dad. Make a special effort for dad. It's his day. But it's not a bad day to express your appreciation to everybody that you feel that for. So I'll just move on so that everybody can enjoy their Father's Day. And I am really, really glad that you took a few minutes to jump on here. And I apologize for messing up time. We'll be back to the regular time, back to our same time frame. I feel like a TV announcer again. Well, Daily Distinction will return to its regularly scheduled time tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I appreciate you being here. To all dads out there, I hope you have a fantastic Father's Day. And by the way, rearview mirror can also be, exactly. Right, Glenn. The George Santayana said the past is prologue. If we do not understand history, we are condemned to repeat it. So understanding what's in that rearview mirror is really important. By the way, I want to say one more thing. Father's Day isn't reserved just for biological dads. Father's Day is also there for stepdads who care. Fathers are there for adoptive dads who care. Father's Day is there for, folks providing services and housing young people in times of need. It's there for everyone who shows and extends their love and their care to young people. So, Charles, great seeing you as always. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching today, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow on the next edition of Daily Distinction at its regular time. And to every father out there, I hope you have a great, great Father's Day.